this is not the max specs build that you may remember, where it's all about the zealots. And he's building a zealot right now, I understand. This is about the stalkers. And against a heavy Reaper commitment, we got a second Reaper on the way, and this feels like it wants to be kind of some sort of Hellion Reaper idea. The fact that it's actually going to be a depth steadfast. That's against Reapers and Hellions. That's pretty solid.
It's Adepts or Stalkers. It's kind of dealer's choice. The big thing is that it is unscouted for now, and it is a reactor behind this. There's no bunker, and okay, the depot lift does come up. That was pretty important. Command center will get canceled, as you alluded to, and that needs to happen. But I think we need to see a bunker as well on the high ground. He's gonna try and get away with one without building one. And that is a little bit bold. There is a gold base behind it. Ooh, nice grenade for Heromarine. He needs to keep these Reapers alive. If he loses even a single unit before the Widowmine is out, things get really sketchy.
He should, right? The Zealot tanks a little bit, but with this wall and the ability to kind of head backwards and forwards. Oh, he's going to get the Widowmine made? Oh, wow, man, misses the shot. But now you just sacrifice the Zealot. And Zealot was not all that useful anyways, and the pressure continues. Hellion, lots of damage there. And this is starting to feel pretty good for Hero, and all he has to do, by the way, is just keep his opponent at home, because you talked about it. There's a gold base. That's very vulnerable. But if you can kind of keep this position alive as it is right now, if you can keep Heromarine at home, that can buy you time to recall it, to start to find value to that one. But the moment that pressure is released, it becomes a problem. Now, though, Hero, I mean, okay, that is greedy from Heromarine there to get the tech lap, but he's going to get away with it. And if you're Heromarine, I mean, how in the world do you bust out of this? Medivacs, you got to go for some sort of like pressure relief drop, but he's got a tech lab on that starport. He's got a Raven. It's going to be a long time before he makes that happen. That being said, the prospect of a 3-1-1 type of push here is powerful. Hero is going to struggle maybe to hold that gold. So what do you do if you're Hero and you got one gold base steadfast? You take a second.
Yeah, yeah. The one thing I will say is that Hero's game plan on this map is super telegraphed. And I really hope we see something different. I don't want to be predicting the future. I want to be wrong. But what I've seen a lot from Hero on this map specifically is he takes the double gold, he gets a ton of charge lots, and then he YOLOs into 2-base Terran and throws away his army repeatedly. Now, I really hope that is not what we see. But as soon as I saw that gold base, that memory flashed into my brain. And I really hope that he can chill a little bit. Now, this is a really nice scouting probe right there. Spots a Banshee. There is a shield battery at this base, so it's actually going to be relatively well prepared for this. Ironically, you don't want to move away from the base. Oh, and that's going to be 2 dead probes. It's already not bad for the Banshee. There's that charge upgrade coming on in. Heromarine, he'll have studied his opponent. He'll know that this is how Hero tends to play this particular map. I really hope we see Hero able to temper the aggression.
You can't cover all 3 bases. There is no way that you can defend all 3 against concerted aggression. So we're seeing damage happen. 3-4 workers go down, and granted, Hero is up 7 workers. He is mining off the gold base. It's actually, the damage is not there yet, but we can very easily see a world where all of a sudden Heromarine is able to start to really find that value. Nice stalker positioning. He's the Widowmine Falls. But now, we have upgrades ready for Heromarine. I believe Stim is done. Combat shields are done. He's got this 3-1-1 setup, and the army's just not quite ready for Hero yet. I think he might have to give this gold up.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for him. And you notice that Heromarine has gone so heavy on the Marines themselves, knowing that if his opponent plays heavy charge lot, mass Marine with Widowmine is going to be so good against that. Now, Hero does lose the gateway there. He's going to try and use the Zealots, but look at how quickly they get gunned down by Man with Gun. Oh, and Stalker's on the other side, also getting taken down. Heromarine is really getting a lot of work done.
That he is, in the shield battery overcharge. Okay, it is going to hit every Stalker, but it's still just an awkward situation. And now the Robo goes down. +1 is done here. I mean, it's a nice concave for these Stalkers. Absolutely. They blink on top of the tank, but the Marines are just going to start to gun them down. The tank finally falls steadfast, but I mean, you said it. The Man with Gun, powerful story indeed. The Raven drops an auto turret for even more power here. And it feels like just barely. No, actually, no. Another round of Stalkers here. And Heromarine is not going to bust the base. I really thought he was going to, but that Stalker, even as the Stalkers went down, it actually works very well. And he gets the Raven too. you know what? That looked rough for Hero, but
Oh.
he kind of makes it happen. He's still fine.
Well, I guess you aren't expecting the Stalkers over there, but now he knows the Stalkers are over there, and he knows that this army is pretty exposed. Battery overcharge gets bought very early. Oh, Hero, he's going to be forced to recall, and that's going to make the mobility a big issue for the future.
Yeah, I guess the other way to say that is he killed a Widowmine drop, took very little damage, and has his response on the other side, and is getting a little bit of the army here, but the Stalkers have to blink backwards. So, yeah, he loses out some of the mobility, absolutely. But on the flip side, like, he does a very good job of making sure he really takes no damage anywhere, and those Widowmines, they're also going to get triggered. So now, Heromarine trying to push in. We have no splash. I mean, Archon, sure, fine, but Archon's a tanking unit against Terran. It's not a splash unit, not really. But these Stalkers on the backside, like, I really like what they're doing. They're making it really hard for Heromarine to full send commit on the push, and that's just buying more time for Hero. But I mean, even where's his splash damage going to come from? How is he going to deal with this just massive bio army as Heromarine gets to 150, 160 supply on all of his upgrades, on all of his just madness and insanity that he's trying to build? His Widowmine drop, it's going to be handled well. Like, again, we're going to lose 1-2 pros.
Yeah, Hero is doing such a good job of dealing with these Widowmines, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. The way Hero used those Stalkers to kind of interrupt Big Gabe's push was extremely nice. And this gold base, it will go down, but Hero is going to go straight up the gut. Is it the right call to go into the natural? Ooh, I don't know. Huge Widowmines hitting a lot of Zealots and a lot of SCVs. Hero is going to break right through. And now this is where the fact that he's spread out is good, but also the fact that his recall is on cooldown is a problem. So this is a very weird situation that's going to be difficult for both players.
I think the recall is going to be ready pretty soon here, actually. So force field on the Rams. Nice. Steadfast, there are okay, Medivacs are there now, but they were very slow behind. And now we're going to see that orbital maybe go down here. Stark split on top of the Medivacs. How many are there going to get? Seems like none for right now, but the Archons are actually firing for once. They're starting to find some value, but now it's just mission get out of dodge here. Force fields are nice. Archons finding value as well as they can. It's 42 dead SCVs, Steadfast. The Stalkers, they can just blink on the low ground. You're going to lose a sentry. You're going to lose a zealot, but it's going to be a dead orbital here. This is incredible for Hero. Sure, he loses a gold, but it's a gold base that has paid for itself. That was, I think, 3 mineral patches remaining. Hero had almost mined it out. He kills the third base. He does heavy damage to the natural. Blinks on top, gets the Liberator, and Hero, Steadfast, it feels like he's just done it here. The Archons are finding value. Medivacs are just flying on top, looking to soak damage, and Hero plays an incredible game too. But for now, Heromarine's going to run across the map. 2 Reapers at Hellion, just an expeditionary force. Get a probe or 2 if you're really lucky. Maybe you get something more than that. But the interesting thing here that we see out of Hero in this game is the fact that for the first time in this series, he's gotten Starport or Stargate, and he's got to beat Oracles. But out of this, do you think we see Phoenix out of this, or is this just, hey, it's Oracles, you know, it's tempo, it's map control, and behind that, standard kind of Oracle into Blink type of idea?
Heromarine is going to sneak in here with this. Hero does not anticipate the drop, and he's got no shield battery. He's got no units in position. This will be a couple of dead probes. This is actually not as bad as I thought. Only 2 dead probes. Yeah, that's kind of fine.
And Marines, and he just doesn't want to let Hero get in his happy places. Now he's gonna get, actually good, this is a great move from Hero. He's gonna get 2 Cyclones, and that is so much of the power of this push. That is so much of the ability for Heromarine to shove down and knock all these Stargate units down. And now this is Hero that is pushing onto the other side. Now don't run into the high ground, don't run into the tanks with so much anti-air there. But even still, feels like the legs of this push from Heromarine have been just cut out from under them immediately. Hero knew what the mission was, and he's been very successful in defending them.
Yeah, this is a really nice start for Hero here. Obviously killed those first couple of early game units quite quickly and cleanly, and now he's looking really solid. And we're going to be seeing a 5 racks out of Heromarine, but Hero is already getting into Colossus, and this time he does not forget his extended thermal lance. He's got the 3rd Nexus on the way. I've got to say, as far as setups go, this is looking about as ideal as you can get, and he even gets in before the missile turret completes. Oh man, getting SCVs in a situation like this is so nice for Hero. Oh, but he is going to lose the Oracle. That is less nice.
Oh, is he? No, he's not. No, he's not. It's calculated, Steadfast. He gets out on.
Oh my God.
8 HP.
And will Hero somehow be able to buy time for charge? I'm assuming he's got it on the way. But this is a very dedicated 2-base push from Heromarine. He will need to make it happen with this.
Yeah, and the problem is Hero, it's going to be hard for the Phoenix to get the snipe, right? Because they're sitting at home. But actually, as I say that, Hero wants to get a little bit just exploratory on the middle of the map here. He knows that Heromarines army is on the... These Marines are so exposed. A couple Colossus shots are gonna be beautiful here. The tank's not firing. They're just not in position. I thought it might have gotten a little bit more there. Of course, Hero doesn't want to move too far forward. But by itself, these shots from these Colossus are just wreaking havoc on this army of Heromarine. And if Hero's allowed to do this 1 or 2 more times, the push from Heromarine is just... It feels in risk of getting stalled already. So many Marines are dead, Steadfast. This is not how Heromarine wanted to play this.
No, it certainly is not. He wanted to take a much stronger position without losing anything, but he's already in some big trouble, and Charge is getting really close and bleeding. But the Raven does still have full energy. Oh, the feedback is huge. That is such a clutch warp into the High Templar for the feedback. And now he's going to be able to morph an Archon as well. That's going to be a high-value unit. The tanks are a little bit far back to cover the Vikings. Hero going very far forward, does lose the Disruptor, but this is looking extremely good for Hero to start things off. He will lose... Did he lose a Colossus there? I think he did. But does he still have battery overcharge?
No, I believe that was spent, but the big deal there, we saw the Zealots. Yeah, they're ready, Steadfast. Great, fine. They run around a corner, they get siphoned off, and they die immediately here. And it looked like it was going to be a great fight for Hero, but Heromarine still has that push ready. The Vikings now, they're a little diminished a little bit, but Heromarine continues to run forward, and that missile turret makes it so hard for the Phoenix to join the fray. So this third base is under heavy threat now. The probes are going to have to get pulled here, and Hero has to break this right now. No, Zealots get on the left side. They're going to start to knock these tanks down. Bio, they'll get on top of the last of the Colossus, and the Disruptor shot gets saved here. All of a sudden, Heromarines' pressure still finds value. The Colossus are down, only 1 Viking here. And now Heromarine, you set back up for a second. You get maybe another tank. You get another round of production. And this actually doesn't look all that bad for a German Terran.
It's weird. It's kind of a full reset for both sides, and this game is still very much up in the air. We do see a big attacks coming in from both sides. The drop in the main base, that save where he got the hot pickup against the Disruptor shot was big, but the Zealots on top of this army, that's a huge find for Hero. Getting a siege tank, and he's going to be able to run down a lot of this bio. We see Hero trying to rally in on top of it. Meanwhile, the Phoenix is going to find this fully loaded medevac. Oh, that's a big find, and all of a sudden the supplies, they go from very even to, well,
very even.
Actually, yeah, very even again. It was a big swing. I still think Hero is in an amazing position now.
For the most part, the Phoenix have been dealt with. I think they're like 2 on the map right now. I don't think any more were made. So the fact here that Heromarine has this kind of overlapping zones of fire, right, of tanks and liberators, all of a sudden, this army is maybe even more powerful than its supply says it is. And by the way, this drop has kind of pulled Hero out of position. That's a lot of the army in the main base outside of the 4th that is not going to be able to deal with this pressure onto the 3rd, and this is yet more economic damage.
It is more economic damage, but this is also a lot of Heromarines' army, and he can't afford to lose it. He is going to try and out-multitask Hero a little bit, but he loses the medevacs on the top side. The bottom side drop will get recalled against. And as you mentioned, Blink and +2 are on the way. Those are big timers for Heromarine. Heromarine is running out of money. He's landed his main command center at the 3rd. This is still a 2-base all-in. He is still not on a great economy. Hero's been outmining him by a lot for a while. And now Hero will get a little jump on these medevacs, and he's going to get one of them. It's honestly, getting the medevac is almost more valuable than getting the Marines at this point. Like, every medevac is so important.
Yeah, and now at this point, Heromarine is just, he's got his 3rd base. Yeah, oh, not really. It's the main base over to the 3rd. He's still on 2 orbitals, but it almost feels that despite that, generally floating over, it says, I need to go. Yeah, I'm gonna hold that thought here because here comes Hero. There are 4 tanks here, but the Phoenix, they just lift them all up. And now Marines find a great position actually on the Zealots as they charge in, and it doesn't matter. Despite that position, despite hiding behind the tanks, there's so little army left for Heromarine. And with this Colossus here, it's a 1-base turn right now. You gotta lift up, you gotta run somewhere else. And Hero, he just needs Blink to come off cooldown, really get on top of those Liberators, knock them down. The Disruptor just barely doesn't land. And is this Heromarine's timing? I don't even know what it is. Now drop it. The probes are getting pulled, and they're handling this to some extent. That just, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah, no, at this point, Heromarine needs more than a miracle. He needs a triple miracle. It's not going to happen. We do see a blink forward into the Liberators. Not the best move, but it doesn't matter. Hero's got over...